wait a couple minutes till people can find us. I'm gonna pull it up on my laptop too so that I can make sure I can see any comments that are coming through. Just a second.
All right.
We're excited about our conversation today.
Yeah, it's very exciting, you know.
Yeah, we got some good updates for you guys and good information to share. Okay, I got it up on my computer. All right, it's silenced so that we don't hear any echoes in the background. Okay.
Seems like we got one person live.
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Welcome.
Thanks. Okay, cool. So we are live. I think we got another person in the room. Thank you for liking right away.
Yep, thank you, thank you.
Go ahead, say hi in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna look over here now because we're all set up. So this is our second live. And so it's kind of exciting for us to be able to meet with you guys on this format because, you know, we get to hear from you directly and you can hear from us directly, ask your questions real time. And so the reason why we wanted to go ahead and do this live is because the last one that we did was, I don't know, months ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while since we did a live. So, you know, we wanted to come back, especially because there's a lot of new people who have joined the channel. Welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome with us.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for your support. Like, it really means a lot. So we are doing this live to give you an update on the construction costs for Ethiopia and what we have spent already. So our first live that we did a few months ago, we did cover a lot of like the initial costs. And we'll do like a quick recap of all of that, you know, just in case you missed it. And for, you know, more details, of course, you can go back and watch that one. But, you know, we'll give you a quick rundown of what we said previously and then move on to like where we are now with our budget and what we have spent. And additionally, I did see that a couple people put questions in the comment of my last post. So we are prepared to answer those questions as well. So make sure you stay till the end to hear the bonus material. We'll call it that. All right, so let's jump right into the cost of building in Ethiopia. So I think before we get into our specific costs, I will say, you know, as many of you probably already know, Ethiopia, Addis in particular, is, I think, the second most expensive city on the continent of Africa. So I just wanted to preface the conversation with that because, you know, I think it's something to be aware of. We're not going to necessarily go into the cost of land, but that is separate from the building costs, you know, so keep in mind land specifically is expensive in Ethiopia.
That's true. I just want to add on how expensive Addis is. Overall, I think Africa is getting expensive. It's not as it used to. Because even when I went back about 2-3 years ago, I was very shocked. Actually, 2 years ago, how expensive things were. So for some of you guys who've been here for a while and is still thinking, you know, Africa is cheap, but especially land and the construction material went really high in terms of price. So just keep that in mind as we are kind of going through. But our job here is to just give you the real numbers and just being honest with you guys, because you know when we didn't start this YouTube channel before, I was looking for videos online to find this kind of information, like how can I buy land, how much it will cost. Like there's no one that was able to give that information to me. Yeah, you'll find that maybe in Ghana and in Nigeria and somewhere else, but not particularly in Ethiopia.
Yeah, people don't like to give like the actual cost. So
correct.
That's what we're gonna do.
That is what we really want to do. We want to give you that information. Just, you know, our information, our experience. We want to share that with you so you guys can have some idea what to do with building or buying land in Ethiopia.
And my husband has a little cold today. I don't know
Sorry.
if you can tell by his voice, but we're gonna get through it. He's got his tea with him.
Yep, right here.
So we're prepared.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into it. So the first cost we're gonna talk about is the foundation, the underground and the actual what is that called? Slab, right?
Yeah,
The ground
correct.
slab. Okay.
So yeah, so the first that's so from digging the soil, right? You have to you have to go down. How I don't know. It depends on how big your house is. I mentioned that in the previous video. The higher you go, the deeper you have to go down as well to make sure the foundation of the house is strong. So that's also where you can spend a little more money than other than finishing. So that will on the foundation from digging the ground, we went a little bit deeper. Because we want to make sure the foundation of the house is strong. So that will cost us around 1.7 million Ethiopian birr. That's equivalent to about 31,500. That is a government conversion in dollars. So 1.7 million birr and 31,500 in dollars.
Yeah, and we want to try to give you guys both the birr and the dollar amounts.
Yeah.
Just because we know that the conversion rate changes,
Correct.
you know, over the course of time.
Yeah.
So just so you can kind of get a ballpark estimate.
Right. So in this, the reason we spend this much money because there's a lot of things that we have to buy, right? So that includes also cement, metal, water, sand, rocks, wood, contractors fee, transportation of material, and for labor, right? All of these are included. We use a lot of these, especially metal and cement and sand. You need a lot of those for foundation.
For the base of the house.
That's how much it costs us to come from the ground up on the first floor.
And keep in mind, these costs also might vary depending on where you're building and what type of house or structure that you're building, right? If it's only a villa, which is only a ground floor type of house, in America we call it a single level home, it's going to be cheaper for your foundation because there's less to support, right? And then also in the area that we're building, I noticed when we went to visit that there's some like flooding in the lower parts where other people have built. And so, you know, we kind of built our house a little higher up, you know, in order to avoid any damage from water. So keep that in mind. And before we move on, I do see we have a couple questions here. Can you buy land if you are a yellow card holder through your spouse?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Because once you have the yellow card will give you a right to do pretty much all things except elect or being elected to the office. That's the only thing you cannot do as a yellow card holder. Other than that, you have a right to do any business in Ethiopia. You cannot be elected to the office, or you can elect an official to the office.
Yeah.
That's the only two things
So you
do.
can buy land.
Correct.
Okay, and they also asked, did you pay in birr or USD? We paid in birr, and
Yes.
so I think that is pretty much all that is accepted. Like even if you're using dollars, you would transfer it to somebody's Ethiopian bank account and they would receive it in birr, right?
Correct.
You wouldn't pay with cash dollars,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Right.
Or
if you want to use ATM, you can able to do that way as well. But
In Ethiopia.
But that probably is gonna slow your process because you're only able to draw 10,000 birr a day. But you need a lot of money to buy material, stuff like that. So yes, transferring the money to someone who lives in Ethiopia, or transferring your own bank account if you have one in Ethiopia, and we can also do that as well.
Right. Okay, and a question here about, did you use one builder to handle all of that, or you also had to get contractors to do portions?
That's a great question. So we hire a contractor. So his job is we hire him. He'll bring the builders, the laborers. That's what's
Yeah,
called?
workers, laborers.
The workers. Yeah. So we give him. He will say, "I need this much money to build the foundation," and then we go back and forth with the amount he requested us. We give the amount, and he will hire the workers. and we'll buy the material. So only one contractor.
Right.
If I answer correctly.
Yeah. So another person said, is it possible to buy more than one lot? Sorry, this thing is in the way. More than one lot.
There is a limit to how many.
Or is there a limit to how many you can buy in Ethiopia?
There's no limit
No.
at all. You can buy more than one lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so-
I mean, if you have the money to buy more than one lot, buy me one too, because it's expensive.
Or you can buy it and you can build on it and then you can sell it. That way you can, go into maybe real estate
Right.
business.
Hey, Janet. Okay, cool. So I think that's all the questions we have so far. So we just covered the cost of the foundation
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
And moving on, first level, how much did we pay?
For the first floor, we pay around 1 million birr. That is around $18,500
Dollars.
So that's also pretty much include the same thing, the same items that I kind of listed on the top, from cement, metal, water, sand, rocks, contractor, transportation for material. The only thing really, the cost came down because you don't have to really buy the wood again, because you can use the same wood that you already used for the ground floor. So you can reuse the wood. So
Right.
that will kind of drop the cost for
Right.
you.
Reusing materials is very helpful. So the wood he's
Yeah.
talking about is
For scaffolding.
the scaffolding that will support the first level
Yes.
from the ground. And so if you are patient, you'll wait about a month
A month
for
to dry.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the
Cement.
to dry.
Correct.
And to cure. And then once that's done, you can bring that scaffolding wood from the ground to the first level in order to support your next level, the second level.
That's correct.
So yeah, if you're not patient and you want the house to go faster or you need it to go faster, you don't have to wait. You'll have to wait some time, obviously, for it to dry, but you can buy more wood and continue on in your process.
Right, but it will, waiting, I think is a good thing because it will save you some money.
Yeah,
For sure, that money can go to something else. So,
exactly. It's smart to wait.
It is smart to do that.
Yeah.
So also the second floor, it costs the same amount of money. It's around 1 million Ethiopian birr. That's also equivalent to $18,500 because it's the same amount of material, it's the same amount of cement that it took to do both of the first floor and the second floor.
Right.
This price might change, especially I think the price of cement, it went down a little bit from the time we've actually purchased. So that's a good news. So you might not be maybe spending $1 million, it might be 900,000, 100,000 Ethiopian birr difference, or it could be less than that, or it might change, it fluctuates the market. So the material. So this is how much we spent so far. It might be a little bit higher or lower. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. But this is how much we spent on the second floor as well.
Okay, so a couple questions before we move on. Somebody said, if I'm African American and do not marry an Ethiopian, how much do I have? Oh, thank you, Jim. Appreciate your giving.
Thank you so much.
How much do I have to invest in Ethiopia to buy land and build? Okay.
I think you can answer that one.
Yeah, I'm in the same situation, obviously, except that I did marry an Ethiopian. So you're saying if you don't marry an Ethiopian, how much do you have to invest in Ethiopia to buy it? Okay. I think, so the minimum would be about 100,000 to 150,000. I know somebody specifically who did it for $100,000 dollars. And that is, if you are able or willing to invest that amount in Ethiopia and partner with a local Ethiopian in your business endeavors, and that doesn't always mean that you have to actually start the business. It's just showing in your bank account that you have that amount of money. So, someone that I know personally, they had a lot of, I think, engineering and
Experience,
maybe,
yeah, engineering,
maybe
construction,
engineering, construction, like experience, right? And so they were able to get permanent residency for themselves and their spouse based on that experience, because they were saying, you know, we could be consultants to Ethiopian builders and engineers. And so they were able to show that they had, you know, the certain $100,000 in their bank account, and they had this experience. So that is definitely one way to go about getting, you know, your permanent residency and permit to buy land or to build, and to build. And then I hope that answers your question. If not, please follow up. And let's see, the next person said, how much is rent for a more modern house in Ethiopia? So Ethiopia is a relatively big country, and so it would vary. But I would say in Addis, a modern, like, good house in Ethiopia, I would budget at least 40,000 birr per month, right?
Yeah,
On
40 to
average.
50 maybe.
40 to 50,000 birr per month on average. So you can calculate in dollars what that would be, based on whatever the current rate is right now.
Right.
But for a nice, like, modern house, even in a good area like Summit or CMC,
Yeah.
something like that, it's less than $1,000 a month. So I would definitely, you know, check into that, and especially look at the neighborhoods, because you can find cheaper and still new in different parts of the city. And then obviously outside of Addis, it's going to be much cheaper than that.
Very true. Yes.
All right.
I agree.
Any other questions? Is there a grant program or are there grant programs or incentives for diaspora? I'll let you answer that.
I don't think there's one, and so I'm not gonna give a wrong information. But I think the government do really invite a lot of diaspora to invest in Ethiopia, especially if they have good capital, money. I think the government facilitate those things to come and invest in Ethiopia. So I have to get back to you on that, and I don't want to give you a wrong information.
Yeah, it might be, I think one incentive is it might be easier to get a grant to start a business, you
Yeah.
know, especially if you go the diaspora account route. Some banks have a diaspora account. Like, if you still live abroad and you're still earning in a foreign currency, like the dollar, you can use that money and put it into your Ethiopian bank account, right?
Yeah, yeah. One thing for sure, I just reminded me for diaspora, the government, in Ethiopian government, and the government banks and the private banks, they really want dollars. There's shortage of dollars in the country. So if you have a diaspora account and you live in the United States or in Europe or somewhere where they need the dollar, you can open the account. You can actually buy a house by loan from a bank. So that way you can keep the house, but you have to pay them in dollars.
Yeah.
So they will actually, because they want the dollar, they will be willing to work with you. So you open that diaspora account, but you have to pay the loan in dollars, not in birr, because they want dollar. They don't want birr.
Yeah.
So that is probably one benefit.
Yeah, I think that is a benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, let's see, I think I did that one. The next question, where do you go to get a list of potential contractors or builders? Is there a website or is it just word of mouth?
In Ethiopia, usually it's word of mouth. I think the best way, I'm sure there are some websites out there, and there's companies, but the best way, I think, you have to kind of go through people. Right? That's how the culture, Ethiopian culture works usually. You find good people through people.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, building relationships, because you want to make sure you get the best price and also the best quality work. And the way that you find that is by, testimonials. People saying, like,
Yes.
I have used this person and they did an excellent job on our house or on our whatever.
Yeah.
I think that is
Yeah.
probably the smartest and safest way to go.
Yeah, that's how we had our engineer who did the blueprint of our house, and the contractor also is the engineer's family. So we got them through people. So I think that's the best route to go when it comes to that.
And someone wants to know, can we share the name and contact of the engineer and contractor that we use?
Well,
Maybe you can send an email to
yeah.
us.
So yeah.
Yeah, just send us an email at ethiolivingfree@gmail.com and we can share that information with you. And fun fact about our engineer, he's the person who actually did the design for the Capitol Hotel in Addis Ababa. So
Yeah, that's a big hotel. It's a 5-star hotel.
yeah, so he's really good. He knows what he's doing, and you will get quality work from him. So yes, send us an email. We can share that information with you. And like I said, it's funny because, or like my husband said, I didn't say this, but he said, it's about who you know and making those contacts. So
Yeah.
it was actually our family who had a, connection with him.
Yeah.
And that's how we got in contact with him. So now we can help you guys.
Right.
Okay, so before I answer more questions, I want to get back to what we were saying. So the total amount that we have spent so far on our house, from the ground level to the first level, the second level, and starting the roof, has been what?
Been around $92,759.
Yeah.
Or that is 5 million in Ethiopian birr.
Okay, so about 5 million Ethiopian birr, or $93,000.
Yes.
As an estimate. And that's based on the government's current exchange rate.
Right.
So, just so you don't get like the impression that, we just make all this money, like this is also some savings and then also some income that we have made recently. And then, like we said in the last live and earlier in this one, your costs might be different depending on the size of your house. Our house is about, I would say, it's about 4,000 square feet, and in square meters, is it like, what is it, 400
I'm not
in total?
I'm not sure.
It might be around like 400 square meters in total. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but it's a big house, and it's in 200 square meter or 200 kari lot. So, your costs might be different, but that's just kind of giving you guys, a little bit of a ballpark estimate of what you might be looking to spend, and that is on the outside skeleton structure of the house.
Yes, that doesn't not include the finishing it. So,
thank you, amazing.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that giving.
So, I just want to also mention here there is some roof as well for roof of the house. In this 5 million. Also, there is a name changing. In Ethiopia, when you buy a land, you can't really buy land. You're only able to transfer. So you only buy what is on the land. I think we discussed this in our previous video.
Yeah, and I'm going to go over that too in the other question that somebody asked.
Okay,
so hold on for that.
Yeah, so that's also included.
Yeah.
That money, the legal fee, and name changing, and all of that has to be paid for the government for us to transfer from the person, from the seller to the to us,
to the buyer. Yeah.
To the buyer, we have to pay for that as well.
Hi, Coquette.
So I want you to guys also kind of know that part as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the cost breakdowns of what we have spent so far. And I know it sounds like a lot of money, right? Most of us in the diaspora don't have that kind of money on hand. But if you think about it, you're building your house slowly over time, right? So you can take your time and you can send the money as you get it. And once you complete the house, it's gonna be still way cheaper than a house of this size and of this quality that you would get in the United States or in Europe or anywhere. I bet you, we'll still be probably under 200,000, definitely under 300,000 with this whole entire house.
Yes, for sure.
For sure.
Building a house, it takes time. We just want to really our goal here is just want to give you the overall view of how much we spent. This money is very hard to price. A lot of money. There's no way you can pay at once thank you so much. I want you to just get an idea, how much it will cost. Also depends on as I mentioned, the material price went down a little bit, especially the cement. So that's a good news. Depends on the house you're building. Also, if it's lower, like only one villa, one story house, it might be cheaper than that. So just keep that in mind as well. But I just want you to guys kind of get an idea overall.
Great. All right, let's get back into these comments. Jam Habasha said, I have a lot of questions, so if it's too much, just let me know. No, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry. So what type of accountability do the contractors have concerning the quality of their work?
All right, so the contractor, so there's the engineer, right? The engineer, this is how ours works. The engineer is the one who put our house on paper. The contractor is who's putting the paper on the ground. So every time the contractor does something, let's say does the ground, the engineer will come. It will make sure everything is on the paper is also on the ground.
Yeah.
So the engineer will follow every time. If there's, even with our house, there's so many times, not so many times, but a couple of times that the engineer told him he has to take it down, he has to fix it, he has to cut, he has to add.
Right.
So those things
It's
actually,
like a check and balance.
yeah, the engineer actually told us every time I design house, it's my baby.
Yeah.
I want to make sure the baby is growing to the fullest potential.
Right.
You know, so he comes, he check with the stairs in the wall, and everything is on the ground according to the paper.
Right.
So that's just how the accountability
And
works.
also, we pay very close attention to, we were there recently in person, but now we're back in the US temporarily. And so we pay very close attention to pictures and videos that our family members are sending us as they're monitoring the construction process.
Yes.
And so, sometimes we'll see something that we're like, wait a minute, is this right? This doesn't match the blueprints.
Right.
So for example, the contractor had put a part of the backside of our house a little bit inward, and when we saw the pictures, I noticed, I was like, this isn't supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be straight in the back, and so we reached out to the family. They reached out to the engineer. They had a little meeting, and they discovered where the issue was and fixed it.
Yes.
So I think you are also part of the accountability system. If you're talking in terms of being cheated, or somebody taking advantage of you, like the contractor or something like that, in terms of accountability, I don't think that that's something you need to worry about.
That is when I think you will be cheated if the contractor not only paying for the workers, also buying the material.
Yes,
That's
you
a
control the money. You should control
But
it.
if you control the money in terms of buying the material, and he only provide, you only pay him, the contractor, just to bring the workers in, you'll be fine because you control the money. He will tell you how much he needs, the metal, the cement, you buy it. So also you buy as you go. You don't have to buy. If you want 10, you don't have to buy 10 cement in one day. You can buy 5,
Right.
and see how much they go, and you can add him a couple more.
Exactly.
So that way you can control your money. You want to make sure your money is spent in the right way.
Yes, and having somebody on the ground to manage the construction process for you is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that covers that question. Ross said, when moving to Ethiopia, what jobs do you recommend to sustain yourself? None. I personally don't
Yeah.
recommend a job in Ethiopia because the salary is going to be way too low for what you're used to, especially if you're coming from abroad, and you're gonna struggle. So I think we both would recommend entrepreneurship, running your own business over getting a job. But
Yeah, no, I agree. I think because especially with how the rent is so expensive, and everything's expensive nowadays. So jobs, even if you get paid 40, 50,000 birr, I don't know, maybe it could be more, but still it will be a struggle because half of that money you're making probably gonna go to rent.
yeah.
So
If you're a native English speaker, though, you could get a job at a school, especially an international school teaching English or something.
that's true.
And that will get you by. I think you could survive off that, especially if you're a single person. But other than that, I wouldn't really recommend jobs. Next question, amazing. How do I find a beautiful Ethiopian wife to marry to retire in Ethiopia with? LOL. I need tips, information about cultural norms. I would need to know, maybe future video about this. Yeah, I think we could do a future video about cultural norms. And,
Yeah,
you know,
for
I
sure.
think for me, I think meeting people is something that happens organically. Like I know you're joking, but like maybe once you're there and you're out, you're meeting people, you know.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how it has to happen. And of course, pray. And
Absolutely.
for God to provide the right wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We said hello to Coquette.
Well,
SS said, where can we find information on land in up and coming areas in Addis? I don't think it's out there.
yeah.
It's not really, information on land is not really available. Like you have to have somebody eyes and ears on the ground for you.
Yeah. I think that's just needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Information on website is very kind of hard.
Yeah.
Ethiopia is more about people. You have to connect with people and get information from people than the website.
Right. You're welcome, Ross. And amazing. Okay, so Larry Lane, are there opportunities for the janitorial field as a business? Yes, and that is something I'm going to cover because somebody asked a question about lucrative businesses. So stay tuned. I'm going to get to that right after I answer these last two questions. Okay, Coquette, can you recap about transferring ownership of the land to your name? Yep, we're going to get on to that too. Ross, what times of the year so you recommend, or do you recommend to travel?
In terms of what? So let's say if it's price wise, for the plane and stuff like that, usually after holiday. So after September, I know September is a big one in Ethiopia. September from September or January.
September.
Yeah. There's a new year. There's a what's the other one? It's called
Timkat.
Timkat. And those it's more expensive. Right after that, the price will drop, and it will be cheaper.
Yeah, through like February, March.
Yeah.
Probably.
In terms of weather, if you don't like rain, don't go in June, July, and August. I think those because rainy season.
Yeah.
So depends on what you want to do. But I just want to make sure the questions
Yeah.
answer your question.
And even rainy season's not that bad. So
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So on to some of the comments that we got. So in my post, I asked if you guys had other topics you wanted us to cover other than the price of construction. So I got a question here that says lucrative businesses and startup costs. So this is for you if you asked about the janitorial business. So I put together, so I've done a video actually where I talked about what I felt were probably the most lucrative and money generating business industries in Ethiopia. So if you haven't seen it, go check that out, like the most profitable business ideas, something like that.
10 profit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I put together a short list of more ideas that are kind of more specific based on this question. So the first one I said, wait, this is not the right page. Okay. The first one I wrote down is construction materials. So Addis is like under construction.
Yes.
The whole city is quickly developing. People are building businesses, they're building homes. Like it's definitely an up and coming place on the continent. And so I would say a good business idea would be if you have access or the ability to bring in construction materials such as like nails, like tools, those kind of things, and sell them. Metal, like I mean, even the small, you know, types of things, finishings, you know,
I agree.
Flooring or door handles,
Yes.
like, you know, counter, all of this. Like if you have the ability to do that, I think that is a very lucrative and profitable business idea. I wrote down even specifically block making. You know, they use these cement blocks to build the homes. And I don't think they cost that much to make, but you'll sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
So that's one really good profitable business idea for you, construction materials. The second one I wrote down for the person who asked about janitorial, cleaning service is a really big business idea, I feel, in Ethiopia. This could be for individual homes and also hotels, because while a lot of people utilize Saratanias to help them around the house, not everybody wants a Saratania. Not everybody feels comfortable having a Saratania. And if you don't know that word, it's like house help, having somebody help you around the house.
Yeah.
So I think having a professional service cleaning service business would be, I think, an excellent idea, that people can hire you to come once a week, you know, to their house to clean up, mop, sweep, clean the bathrooms, clean their kitchen for them. I think that is a really great service, you know, especially if you live, if you have a smaller home or something and you don't have space for a Saratania to live with you and you don't really want her to come and go in the house every day, you can just hire a cleaning service. I think that would be a great business, and it's very marketable to, I think, hotels.
Yes.
Yeah, especially like in their common areas. Like, of course, they may have housekeeping for the rooms, but their common areas, you know, they may want somebody to come in and do a deep cleaning and clean the floors for them or whatever. So, or any other type of business, you know, any other type of business may want to hire a cleaning service, maybe an office, you know. So that is something I think would be good, because I don't know. So for those of you who've been to Ethiopia, you may know, I think the cleanliness of bathrooms isn't always something that people pay very close attention to. But in the West, like, a clean bathroom is important. Like, it matters. And so I think that is one area for opportunity. People can say, you know, we can come in and clean your bathrooms for you and keep it nice and tidy, you know?
That's true.
All right, that's business 2. Business idea number 3 is the sale of window and door screens. So I think
that's a good one.
this is like a simple idea, but I think it's necessary, especially in the homes. If you don't like flies or mosquitoes and stuff coming into the house, sometimes like there's construction work that might not have been done to the highest quality, so there could be cracks in the window, like around the window frame, or something. So just having like a screen to keep those insects out. So if you were gonna do this business, I would say, you know, first develop your product, your screens, and then you could have like a service where you come out and you do a consultation, you measure the windows and doors, and you would charge for that, for the consultation, and then provide them with an estimate of the total cost. And if they, you know, want to hire you, then you would come back out for the installation and they would pay the final price. So that's
cool.
another, I think, really good idea. The 4th one is a pest control company. Again, for insects. If you can't tell, this is something I'm very concerned about. So you could have a pest control company. I know that they do exist in Ethiopia. I've seen maybe a few signs around Addis, but it's not super common, and I think there's still a lot of opportunity for growth there. Again, this is something you could do in people's homes or in hotels. So I think pest control, and maybe you could be like the company that markets yourself on, like, we do organic chemicals, like we don't use harsh chemicals, like we use natural organic chemicals and, you know, whatever. And so I think you could be in hotels and people's homes. Like, I would pay for that service. I would pay for you to come every 3 months.
I mean, these are really good ideas, because do exist these things, but no, it's not in the bigger picture. So for you to creating that company, you know, license it, you know, known company, you can advertise on TV or even on radio, and you can because it's new, it does exist, but you can modernize the business itself. Then you can make a lot of money from it.
Exactly.
For sure.
And the final business idea I have, which is always going to be profitable, is real estate. If you have the money to buy land and build a house, maybe consider, you know, not building your own house right away and doing an Airbnb, or adding an Airbnb onto your house that you've already built. I think that is a really profitable idea, especially in places where there is water, like lakes, Hawassa, Deberzite, those types of Bahadar, those types of locations. I think, you know, people might want to go and stay at a hotel, or if you have like a really nice, clean, professional, modern Airbnb, you'll stay booked. You will stay booked. I think there's a lot of tourism to Ethiopia, so this is a really great opportunity. You know, people want to go on vacation and they want to relax, and why not be by a lake?
Exactly. The good thing about, because especially if you bring your Western mind, you know, they're doing great things there too, but you know, you can bring your expertise, your experience, and you want that clean and attractive environment, you know, for yourself. So you're just bringing what you already know with yourself to create your company in Ethiopia.
Right.
So I think we got some questions.
Yeah, so we got a lot of
about-
comments, but before I'm gonna get to the comments. But before I do, so Kokate asked about transferring ownership, and that goes right in line with another question that we got on the comments of my post, where somebody said, so they were asking about the legal process when it comes to purchasing property and how to find legitimate, good-intentioned people when it comes to construction, obtaining land deeds, negotiating prices, when you do not know a local who works in the area. Okay, so on that question, we said like, that we did do a video on the legal process to buy land, but I would say one thing we didn't cover in our last video, and my husband touched on earlier, is that you cannot buy empty land in Ethiopia. You can't, it's illegal, right? So what happens is, the legal process is, if there is an empty lot that you would like to buy, you know, approach the owner and, you know, inquire about the price and all of that. And then if you decide to buy it, you pay for the land and you get the legal power of attorney over the land. The owner of the land still has their name on the title for the land, right? And so that is the reason why that happens. This is a new law in Ethiopia that catches a lot of people off guard. This is what we did when we purchased our land. It was in somebody else's name until we built something on it and it got transferred officially. And so you become the legal power of attorney. What that means is the land is now is legally yours, but the other person's name is still on it. And so they can't do anything with that land without your permission. They can't sell it to anybody else or build something on it. You know, they have transferred all power and authority of that land to you, right?
Yeah, I think that is correct.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, so the law, that's the law of the land. You know, that's just, we have to follow the law, right? So you, by law, you cannot sell or buy an empty land. Are you only able to buy what's on the land? I think you mentioned earlier, we had a video about it, the whole, about buying and the process that you have to take to do that.
Right.
So you only buy what's on the land. That's the actual time you say, I bought this house. You can't say, I bought this land.
Right.
They're only able to transfer. So the person, if I am a seller, I will legally transfer the power of attorney to my wife. I no longer have this land on my position. It belongs to her. You can't say I sold to her. It belongs to her.
Right.
She can build a house on it and she can sell it. And say, I would like to sell this land, this house I have on this land,
Right.
to this gentleman or to this woman. That's how it works.
That's how it works, yeah.
So some people say, well, I spend a lot of money. If I'm spending, 10 million Ethiopian birr, I'm not even, my name is not even on it. No, your name is on it. Also, that also,
You're listed as the power of attorney.
Attorney. It's yours now.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure when you are buying, you have to check all of the documents.
Right.
You want to make sure there's nothing attached to the paper. Sometimes in Ethiopia, this stuff things happens. Somebody will sell land to you, and the family members, they will come right behind after you pay the money and say, hey, no, we didn't agree to transferring this land to this person. Now you have to go to a court and then you have to fight over this stuff. So before you actually pay your money, you have to properly check, I don't know the right word, check on, verify all of the documents are accurate and true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to the part about how to find like trustworthy people if you don't know anybody there. Hi, we're trustworthy. I'm just kidding. No, but when we're there like full time, we will definitely be helping people in this regard. Like if you are somebody who's interested to build in Ethiopia and you don't have anybody that you know or trust, like we will help you. We'll help you monitor your construction process and make sure you're not being taken advantage of and things are being done properly, and send you photos and videos and all that stuff. So we're not there permanently on the ground full time yet, but when we are, be on the lookout, because that is something that we will help people do.
For sure.
And then last on this legal process question, I do have a website of a law office in Ethiopia that one of our subscribers has used and had a really great experience with. So if you have a pen ready, their website is DM Dog Mary. So DM EthioLawyers.com. DMEthioLawyers.com. Sorry, somebody's trying to call us. So they, the person who used them said that they had a really great experience, and they would recommend them. And if you would like to send them an email, their email address is info@dmethiolawyers.com. So feel free to reach out to them if you have any further legal questions about relocating to Ethiopia, residency, buying property, whatever. They're really great. Their consultation, like hourly rate, is $100 an hour, which they said is about 5,500 birr. And like I said, they have a really good reputation, and there's someone that you can trust. So just wanted to provide that for you guys, just in case you are interested in finding a lawyer. All right, let me get back to the questions in the comments, because I think those were the only questions that people wrote. Oh my gosh, a lot of questions came. Okay. So let's see, where was I?
You respond to Koketi.
Okay, yeah, I responded to Koketi. Koketi or Koket?
Koketi.
Yeah. I responded to her question about transferring ownership. And then here's Haptamu. So Haptamu said, the new law is not affecting you? I mean, about the paperwork documents for land. Yes, it did affect us, and we did mention that's what we had to do also. Live and Love said, is it true that a lot of theft happens to your construction materials while building your house? So you may need to hire a guard.
Very true. We actually have a guard.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
You do need to hire a guard. Did you include that cost in there?
No.
No. So.
But it's not really a lot.
Yeah.
So but you have to hire. If you need how much it will cost, then you can send us email.
Yeah, we'll get that information for you. But yes, you do need to hire a guard
Yes.
for your materials. People
Yes.
will steal them.
Yes.
Ross said, do you have any recommendations for fertile places that can be used as farmland?
Ethiopia is fertile.
Yeah, the whole country.
Except maybe some
Maybe
desert,
Afar,
some desert like
yeah.
Somali and Afar and areas might be hard, but overall, Ethiopia is a fertile soil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
for
is a
sure.
blessed land.
Yeah.
Larry Lane said, what about hospitals or healthcare? What about them?
In terms of the quality,
Yeah,
you mean?
what do you mean? Let us know what you mean. But there are plenty of hospitals and healthcare.
Yeah. The private ones, it is the government, which is actually the government hospitals are very low prices and buying
Low cost.
Low cost, yeah. To buy what's that, medicine.
Medicine, services,
Yeah.
it's pretty low
It's
cost.
a lot of healthcare, private and hospitals as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quality.
Okay, yeah, he said quality. So yeah, I think the quality of the care is going to be better at private institutions.
Yeah.
The cost is better with the government. But
Yeah.
still, the private institutions are not that expensive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Comparing to here.
Yeah, compared to
In
the
the
West.
West.
Samira said, just wanted to say hi. I am East African myself and I enjoy your video. Hi, Samira. Thanks
Hi.
for reaching out. I think Yonan said, what do you think about if we start company share with other people, if we have strong business plan and idea? With other Ethiopians or...
Other
I mean, I
family
think
members?
that's fine as long as there's people that you trust, you know?
Correct.
I wouldn't just trust anybody.
Yeah, you just want to make sure those people also they're on the same, they have the same mindset, same goal as you have. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes the people that hold you back, they drag you down. So you want to make sure those people are the right people, the right fit for your company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I saw your blog. You have some great gems. Oh, thank you. I would like to see some of that content on your YouTube channel, but a blog can be a good income. It's like having digital real estate. Exactly. Blog, YouTube, all of that, those are other good business ideas if you are, inclined to
Yeah.
start those things. And I don't know if my audience would be so interested in my blog content. It's mostly womanhood, wifehood, motherhood, and I think most of my subscribers are actually men. So I don't know.
But do you wanna give them your blogging
Yeah,
website? So
thank you. If you're
yeah.
interested in that,
Yeah.
it's actually my website is just princesslivingfree.com, and the blog is called Divinely Woman. So we are, serving Yahuwah, and we are doing things the way that He said to do them according to the Word of God. All right, so just takes a little while to grow. Okay. Haftamu said, "Do you know the cost of carta, proof of land paper to get is getting more and more? How do you see it? The price of getting the carta is
Well, I know what he means. I just
I don't know the cost.
Yeah, I just mentioned. So that usually comes. That also the carta part, proof of land paper. That's also included when you are transferring. So if you are buying the house that is already built, it could be 200,000 just for the legal fee that has to be paid. But if you are transferring, you're getting the carta, which is the blue, like the carta is the
deed.
the deed. For us, getting that from the person who sold the land to us, and also getting the full ownership after we build the house on it, it costs us around 500,000
Burr. Okay.
I hope that will answer.
Let's see.
It's kind of expensive a little bit, but
Samira said, "Do you have any concerns about leaving America permanently?" No, I really don't. I think America is on the downward trend, and I really don't see any concerns. No. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? We might have to wrap this up soon, but what would be cool if you guys could hear it. Okay. So, okay. So somebody's suggesting that we put together a PDF form with all this information and upload it to the cloud so we can all download it. Okay. Oh, and you said you'll pay. I was gonna say now that's work. I don't know if we want to do that for free, but yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe we can think about putting this. So, in terms of all this information, you mean like the costs, or do you mean like the questions that I was answering about like businesses and the legal process, or like all of it? Okay, SS, what's the name of the area you guys are building your house in? It's called Metek Sefer. It is on the western side of Addis near Haile Garment and Lebu. Please talk about building homes with natural material. Hey girl, TMC said, such as the Gojo bit. Can any builder build this, and roughly how much would it cost for them? Would it be for them to combine 4 or 5 of them? Yeah, any builder can build a Gojo bed in Ethiopia.
Yeah, well, but also the only problem you have with that is it probably is hard to build that in the city.
Yeah.
Because the government want you to build a certain kind of houses in the area. Mm-hmm. So you might not be able to build in the center of Addis, even outside of Addis where we're building right now. The government already planned what kind of house has to be built in that area. So you might not get a permission to build that kind of house you want. In Addis, probably maybe if you go out and do maybe as real estate by the lake, stuff like that, you might be able to build those things, those houses.
Okay. Yonan, yes, there's still plenty of land available in our Sefer, in our area. So if you're interested, send an email and we can get you the information for a broker in the area. Okay. So when bringing in materials into the country, is the price to import fair? Or how? No, I would not bring in materials for building, just use what is there. It's already been imported. Yeah. I don't think the price would be fair. It's gonna cost a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's no actual like port.
The good news actually, if you don't want to bring a lot of cement actually produced in Ethiopia. The metal also in Ethiopia. Actually, there are Ethiopian companies. Actually, they're African companies, like Nigerian billionaire. I think his name is Dangote, if I say it right. Actually, he has a cement factory in Ethiopia that produce a lot of cement as well. So there are a lot of cement factories in Ethiopia that produce those things. So you don't really need to import from outside. And if you want for door and windows, Ethiopians are great carpenters.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to bring from Dubai or Turkey.
Right.
We have to grow local business.
All right, guys, I think we're gonna wrap this up. I hope you found it interesting. Jam, we will definitely reach out to you if we need you, because we see that you have those software engineer skills. So thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Hello, Lante. And for supporting us. I hope you found this information helpful. And please reach out to us with emails if you have further questions, or you can leave them in the comments. I read every comment and try to respond to all of them. So definitely just let us know.
Yeah.
All right, guys, any last words?
No, I just want to say, thank you guys for watching, supporting us. Make sure, please share, subscribe
Yes.
this video so we can get more subscribers.
Yeah.
Really our goal is to make sure we're giving the raw information, the, accurate information to you guys. And so just continue supporting us, and we love you. Thank you very much.
Yes, we love you guys. Bye.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
God bless you.